Hi YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, Investing in the Rockies. And in today's episode, I'm going to be discussing just how much it costs to live here in Banff, and I'm going to show how anyone can move out here and how anyone can have a great lifestyle and at the same time still be saving money. So in order to do this, I thought I'd give you like a real life example. So I'm just going to use myself. I'm going to be talking about my own experiences. I'm going to be talking about the job that I worked at and how much money I earned doing that job. Then I'm going to talk about what it actually costs to live here. So there's three topics I'm going to be covering in this. First, I'm going to cover accommodation. Second, I'm going to cover food and drink. And third, I'm going to cover the lifestyle cost. The reason that I wanted to do this video is because I get asked all the time. I've been here for over 2 years now, and I get asked all the time, especially since I started to do YouTube, questions about moving out here and how much things cost. And I know a lot of people feel that Banff is an expensive place to live, and Banff is an expensive place, don't get me wrong. Like, anyone that lives in Canada knows Banff's more expensive than pretty much everywhere in Canada. But if you know how to do it, and you know where to go, and you know exactly what you want to do here, then it doesn't have to be that expensive. So we'll just dive straight into the numbers, and I'm going to talk about just how much I earn out here in Banff. So my job out here in Banff is working as a bellman for one of the biggest hotels, the Fairmont Banff Springs. When I first started with the Fairmont, my rate of pay was $18.75 per hour, but after working there for 1 year, this bumped right up to $24.75 per hour. I think this is a pretty good example to use because there's lots of people that are out here on minimum wage, and there's lots of people that are also earning more than that figure. I know servers that are earning 100 plus in tips per night, and everyone's getting on great. We're all living really good lives. So let's just break down the figures as to what exactly I walk away with. So if we take $24.75 and we times that by 80 hours, because out here in Canada you get paid every 2 weeks, that equals $1,980. But I obviously get taxed and stuff on that. So after the tax comes off, I usually walk away with roughly around $1,508 every 2 weeks. So now you are aware of how much exactly I walk away with every 2 weeks here in Banff for working 80 hours a week. Let's break down the cost of living here in Banff. But before I do that, I just want to quickly mention that I worked for the Fairmont Banff Springs for nearly 2 years, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely great company to work for. I've got nothing but good things to say about them. They really look after their workers. I had a great I was working with a great team. We had great fun, got the job done. Always worked hard, do not get me wrong, we worked hard, but I really enjoyed it and can't speak highly of the Fairmont as an employer. So now we're going to dive straight into the cost of living here in Banff. And I'm sure the number one thing everyone's thinking about is accommodation or rent. How much does it cost to rent here in Banff? It is true that Banff has one of the highest housing markets in Canada. The housing market is through the roof here. But luckily enough, employers offer a thing called staff accommodation at ridiculously reduced prices. So I'm going to show you my personal example. I'm actually going to show you my staff accommodation. I'm going to show you exactly what you get, and I'm going to tell you how much it costs. So this is it. This is me walking into my staff accommodation room. Here we are. As you can see here, keep my shoes and stuff here, along with some jackets and things. We'll move in here. This here's my storage for sort of clothes and anything like that. More shoes down there. Boom. Take a look at here. This is the kitchen. It's kind of like an open planned all-in-one sort of thing. The kitchen, you get a cooker with a stove. You get your sink. You get storage up here for all your food. I'll show you this in here. All my food and stuff. More storage here. That's all pots and pans and things like that. And here you go. You get a fridge and you get a freezer. Give you a wee check of the freezer. Not too much going on in there, just bits and pieces. We'll have a wee look at the fridge. Boom, there's the fridge there. Plenty of drinks, to be honest. I'm happy enough with that fridge at the minute. That's pretty well stocked for me. So then we'll move into the living room here. As you can see, you have to get your own TV sorted, so the TV's mine. But staff accommodation actually provides you with this lovely TV stand, as you can see. They give you this wee table. They give you a nice sofa, which I like a lot. I've got my tricolour up there because, as you all know, I'm from Ireland. Some more furniture here, and let's just move into the bathroom before we go anywhere. So this is us moving into the bathroom. Just flick the light on here. So this is the bathroom. Pretty simple, but it's got everything you need. It's got your sink, it's got your toilet. My flusher's just broke at the minute, so that's why it's like that. And then you've got your shower and stuff going on here. Pretty simple, but again, it's everything you need. There's some storage in there. So yeah, that's the bathroom. We'll just flick that off, and then we'll take a wee walk into the bedroom here. So we're going from the living room into the bedroom, and I'll just quickly show you. This is where I do all the vlogs, all the financial vlogs, so I'm sure you recognize that sort of angle. We'll have a wee look here at my bedroom window view. That is Mount Rundle there, which there's actually a vlog of me hiking that if you want to check that out. Pretty sweet view. People pay a lot of money in the hotel for that type of view. We'll just swing it around here. That's the bed. More storage and stuff up here. So yeah, that's it. Pretty basic, but if you ask me, it's got everything you need. And I just also want to point out that there's plenty of other better kitted out staff accom rooms than this. This really isn't kitted out at all, because I'm pretty simple. I live pretty minimalist. I don't really need too much, to be honest, to keep me happy, as long as the bed's comfortable and I've got a big TV and I've got my tricolour. I'm happy enough. So there you have it. There's a tour of my staff accommodation room. I'm sure everyone's wondering exactly how much I pay for that per month. But before I get into that, I just want to say that because it is staff accommodation, it actually comes directly from my wages, which is great because you don't even see the money coming out, so you don't even feel like you're paying for rent. But in saying that, the amount I pay every 2 weeks is $186. That is buttons. That is hardly anything. We're talking about one of the most expensive tourist towns in Canada, and we're paying $186 every 2 weeks. So I know this is my own example, but most of the employers in Banff have staff accommodation. All my friends that have moved out here have all lived in staff accommodation, not just here in the Fairmont. There's plenty downtown as well. So if you're moving out here, don't be worrying. Lots of the jobs will have staff accommodation at ridiculously reduced rates. So this gives you plenty more money in your pocket to either save or to do whatever you want with, have fun with. So now we've covered the cost of accommodation, let's move on to food and drink. Luckily enough, if you work for the Fairmont Banff Springs, they actually have a staff canteen in which they provide free meals for all their workers, which is unbelievable. We actually get free food. The quality of the food is hit and miss, but in my experience, it's more hit than miss. I really enjoy it most of the time. So obviously, because this food's free, this cuts down on your daily expenditure massively. And I actually know lots of people that purely eat at the free staff canteen. So if you really want to and you really want to save the pennies, you can just go to the staff canteen and eat there for free all week and literally not spend a single penny on food. And it's true, I have friends that have done it before in the past. Me personally, however, I do like to spend some money on groceries every week. I usually spend roughly $50 per week on groceries, and this gives me much more money to also spend money on eating out.
As you show the Cibc.
So now that that's food covered, let's move on to drink and how much a night out can cost here in Banff. Firstly, I want to say that not every drinking night needs to be a night out in the town. I've had plenty of really great nights in these staff con rooms, getting to meet new people. Because there's so many young people here and there's so many people looking to party, you're always guaranteed to find somewhere to have a good party and to meet new people and new friends. But if you don't want to sit in these staff con rooms, all you need to do is grab a six-pack, walk outside, and there is literally tons of places you can go with beautiful scenery to sit and drink a six-pack, listen to some music with friends or whatever. Just always make sure that everyone's respectful though and picks up the rubbish after themselves, and you shouldn't get in too much bother. But we all know that everyone likes to treat themselves every now and then, and everyone likes to go into the town, get their dancing shoes on and have a good night. So let's talk about how much that'll cost. Firstly, I just want to say, although Banff is considered a small town, it has a great nightlife scene. There's so many bars to choose from, literally tons of bars to choose from, and restaurants too. So if you're looking to go for a nice meal and a few pints, you've got lots to choose from, and they all range. You can get your very high-end restaurants and bars that cost a bit more money. But there's also plenty of bars out there where you can just go for pub food, cheap, nice food, and have a good time there too. Honestly, the average price of a pint out here really can range from anywhere from $5 to maybe $10. So it's all about picking where you want to go and thinking about how much money you want to spend. One thing I would say is there is a website called www.taximikes.com, and he has all the deals on there. He has deals for every day of the week, so different bars do different deals on certain nights. So what we do as locals is we look at this website, check where it has the best deals on certain days, and if this is if we're saving money, then we'll go to them places. I'll throw the link of Taxi Mike's in the description below for anyone that wants to check it out. So now let's talk about the third and final topic, and the topic that I find most important: lifestyle. I'm going to break this down into two different seasons because the lifestyle out here is changing all the time. It changes throughout the year. There's always something different to do, and you're always looking forward to the next thing. So first, we're going to talk about winter and what you get up to out here during the winter time. So there's no doubt that during the winter there is much less to do, but I've grown to absolutely love the winter out here. I came out here in the winter in February time of 2018, and I'd never even snowboarded a single day in my life. But I just picked up a cheap snowboard, had a really good group of friends around me, and started to pick it up really quickly. Out here has some of the best skiing and snowboarding in North America. The ski hills are massive. It's literally the Rocky Mountains. And see, even if you're not one of these really serious snowboarders, you can easily just go up for the day, go for a cruise with friends, bring a 6-pack with you in a bag, go into the trees, have a 6-pack in the snow up on a mountain. There's honestly no better feeling than that. It's a great feeling. And if you don't want to have a 6-pack outside in the cold, you can always go into the bars, which are pumping 7 days a week all winter round. Sometimes I go up there and I have a serious day of snowboarding where I just snowboard hard all day, and that's great fun too. Other days I just go up, chill, do a few laps, and then hit the bar. It's all personal preference. And after a long hard day at the hill, or even not so hard of a day at the hill, what I personally like to do is come back to the Fairmont and go to their outdoor pool and just relax. So how much does this sort of all cost? Well, the great thing about winter is once you get set up, once you get your pass for the ski hill, once you get all your ski gear and stuff, which is slightly costly at the start, but that's you all winter long. There's literally weekends. I have the best weekends ever here during the winter and hardly spend a penny because it's already all paid for. So personally, I got a midweek pass because I worked. My days off were Monday, Tuesday, and I had 2 late shifts on a Wednesday, Thursday, and then the rest were early shifts. So I got a midweek pass, and it cost 500 Canadian dollars, which is literally nothing, and that was my skiing all winter long. And in terms of all the gear and stuff like that, don't even worry about it. I came here with literally hardly any gear. I came with the worst ski clothes ever, that they were the cheapest ones in the shop. I didn't have any snowboard or anything. I just bought it all out here. People are constantly selling stuff on the Facebook marketplaces out here for cheap prices. So just come here and it'll all work out itself.
Jimmy Clark suds. Absolutely stacked it.
Right, Gumsy, go! Yeah!
We'll end up finding cheap snowboards, cheap skis, cheap everything. And again, as I just said, once you're set up with all this stuff, that's you all winter long. That's your weekend sorted all winter long. And if you do want to treat yourself on the odd weekend out here, it's more than possible. There's things like dog sledding, there's things like snowmobiling, which is a bit more costly. But again, because we're earning such a nice wage and have such low expenses, It's pretty affordable. I'll actually have plenty of vlogs coming this winter of all the things to do around here. So if you want to see me dog sledding, if you want to see me riding a snowmobile, and if you want to see me just snowboarding on all the great ski hills around here, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe, because it's all going to be on the way. There's 3 main hills here in Banff. There's Norquay, there's Lake Louise, and there's Sunshine. These are the hills I go to mainly, but there's plenty of other ski hills in the area that aren't too far away. And that's the other thing I like to do during the winter, is to go on these trips and check out other ski hills, which is always a guaranteed good time. So now that's the winter season covered, let's talk about what's there to do during the summertime here. There is absolutely loads to do in the summertime here. I'm going to struggle to go through it all, there's that much. So personally, for me, my personally favourite thing to do out here during the summer is to go camping. Canada is a big and beautiful place with so many unbelievable camp spots. They're literally breathtaking, like, and I really do mean that. They are breathtaking. I've been like to places all over the world. I've been to Asia, I've been all over Europe, I've been to America. Canada truly has some of the most breathtaking views in the world, and camping's my favourite thing to do out here. And the great thing about camping is, again, you can do it on a budget. You really don't need to spend that much money on a camp trip to have a great time. All you need to do is rent a car, which honestly doesn't cost too much out here. You can get them for $40 a day. Just drive a couple of hours down the road somewhere, pick a really nice spot, bring some food, bring some beers that you bought in the liquor store, and that's you. You're good to go. You can have a great camp trip, and I mean a great camp trip, for well under $100. Second thing I like to do out here a lot is hiking. There's mountains everywhere. We're in the Rocky Mountains, obviously, and hiking costs next to nothing. Literally hardly anything. All you need to do is have a pair of hiking boots and you're good to go. There's easy hikes, there's medium hikes, and then there's extremely difficult hikes. It's all just about personal preference and how much you want to challenge yourself. Personally, I like to do big hikes and then go for a few pints after, because you really feel like you deserve them. A third thing I like to do out here is go mountain biking. There's so many trails out here, like endless trails. You could mountain bike every single day of the week and not do the same trail twice. Mountain biking's really fun. It's the closest thing that you can do to snowboarding out here during the summertime. Really enjoy it. I have really good friends that love road biking out here. So road biking's a massive deal out here because the scenery's beautiful. They've got roads for days that go on forever. So road biking too is another massive thing. Fishing is another huge thing out here. It's got some of the best fishing in the world. I have a good friend called Dean Day, and if you ever want to go fishing, make sure you hit him up. I'll throw in a few pictures of me catching my first fish with Dean. And another cheap activity is just going down to a lake or a river, grabbing a 6-pack and just chilling with your friends, listening to music. Costs next to nothing, and you can do that. You could do that in your weekend and have one of the best weekends ever. You really could. And if you're not really into being seriously active out here, that's completely fine. There's things out here to do for everyone. There's plenty of bars, there's great nightlife, there's great restaurants. You don't have to come out here and go crazy riding mountain bikes or climbing big mountains. You really don't. There's something to do here for everyone in Banff. Personally as well, one thing that I love to do during the summer, really during any time of the year, is go on trips to the Fairmont. Because I worked for the Fairmont, we had this thing called destinations, and it gave us really cheap room rates, so we could go to all the Fairmonts in North America. And as you are well aware, the Fairmonts are the top hotel here in North America. They're in the best spots. They're just the best of the best. I've been to the Fairmont in Seattle, I've been to the Fairmont in Calgary, I've been to Toronto, I've been to the one in Jasper, I've been into the one in Lake Louise, and I've actually stayed in the same one I've worked at for one night, and they've all been incredible. The Fairmonts are such a good way to treat yourselves, and because they're on destinations, we actually get 50% off the food and drink. So all the Fairmonts have these incredible restaurants and steaks that are normally costing $70. But because we're getting 50% off because we're staff, we're paying $35 for like the best steak, Wagyu steak on the menu. And if you actually want to see me at some of these Fairmonts, make sure you have a look at my other videos. I've got vlogs on the Fairmont at Jasper Park Lodge, and I've got a vlog on the Fairmont up at Lake Louise. And fingers crossed, there's going to be plenty more vlogs of more Fairmonts to come. So we're just about wrapping up today's video, but before I go, I just want to share with you 2 quick tips that I'd recommend to do before you move out here. Tip number 1 is to make sure you get health insurance. I personally was nearly turned away at the airport when I got to Canada because I forgot to get the health insurance. Make sure you've got the health insurance that covers you for your entire stay of your visa. That means you're good to go, you'll get your visa, and you'll have no issues with any healthcare out here whatsoever. Tip number 2, get a credit card straight away. Personally, I said no to a credit card when I was first offered one when I was setting up a bank account out here, and I really regretted it. Out here in Canada, you actually do need a credit card to book quite a lot of things, such as even just something simple as a rental car. You actually need to have a credit card to book a rental car with. I personally recommend the Cibc Gold Adventurer card. The reason I recommend this card is that it actually covers you when you rent out a rental car. So when you go to rent a car in Canada, they'll always ask, do you want insurance? And it costs a lot extra. It actually sometimes costs just as much for the insurance as it costs to rent the car for the day. So I'm able to say no to that because I know my credit card has me covered. The second really great perk about it is it gives you access to VIP airport lounges all over the world, and it gives you 4 free accesses per year. And I actually recently used these VIP lounges and couldn't recommend them enough. This perk alone makes it worth getting this type of credit card. So if there's anyone out there that has any questions whatsoever about moving to Banff or moving to Canada in general, please don't be afraid to shoot me a message. Just leave a comment underneath this video and I will get back to you. All I can say is though, don't put too much thought into it. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's one of the best things you can ever do coming to Canada. It's a great country. It's got great people and the lifestyle is just phenomenal. And it really doesn't cost that much. You can have a great lifestyle and you can save money all at the same time. It's truly a really great country to live in. That's it for today's video, folks. If you want more tips on anything to do with finance or you want to see some personal vlogs that I'm doing of me in the Rocky Mountains, please make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button because there's going to be plenty more content on the way. But until the next video, everyone, take it easy.